I was a production manager for a broadcaster, and I was on site with a crew of cameramen and engineers overseeing the Liverpool Champions League match with Atletico Madrid. That weekend was the last of the Premiership matches, and at the time we'd heard about lockdowns in other parts of the world, primarily China. We weren't worried because it all seemed so far away. But as I was sitting in the van with someone going back home, and he was coughing and spluttering, so I did think, am I going to catch it? I was worried more primarily about my mother, because we were continuously told specifically Bangladeshi people out of South Asian community were of the highest risk. When lockdown actually happened, it was a strange feeling, and we didn't want to meet any other family members. At the time we were told not to even touch hands, touch our face. There were lots of things that had to be considered. As I am a full-time carer for my mum, lockdown meant no more travelling to work, and the good thing for me, I was still on full pay. I wasn't laid off. Essentially, there was no sports events. My company was getting money from the government, of course, so through lockdown, I got a de facto pay rise. I was staying at home. I didn't have any transport or petrol cost or train journeys to do. In many ways, I had more money in my pocket. My home office setup began with me sitting or lying on my futon with my laptop. As time went on, I invested in a bigger monitor rather than looking at my tiny laptop screen. The mandates really impacted our lives. It was absurd that you could mix with total strangers inside a restaurant full of people, but you weren't allowed to visit your friends or family. My mum is a diabetic, takes insulin 3 times a day via injection, takes heart failure medicine and other countless pills for kidney failure. So she was reliant on someone to help her like myself. So, regards with lockdown, the impact was other family members, when they can't see her face to face, they would talk via a window. That was strange, that was surreal, awkward, but we felt that it was necessary because just to protect her more than anybody else. During the early part of lockdown, my mother was taken into hospital for the very first time, which was really stressful for me, for her and my family, and was very challenging for her. Lockdown rules were strictly observed, and there was a heightened sense of paranoia and anxiety anyway. So she was taken into A&E at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital. And while she was being checked by the doctors, we were kept waiting. And I popped outside just to have a bit of fresh air. But I kept an eye on her through the glass. And then I saw that she was being wheeled away on her wheelchair. And I tried to go back in, but an over-officious security guard wouldn't let me back in. I was unable to say goodbye to her. I tried to explain to them that my mother can't speak English and she's been taken away and I need to be able to be with her. But she wouldn't let me in. And in some ways, I felt that might be the last time I see her. April 2020, the weather was great. It was sunshine every day. It made people think that lockdown was the reason for it. That the weather was fantastic. We had blue skies, no pollution. So outside, there is an absence of people, no cars being driven, no noise. It didn't encapsulate everything. It was almost as if an apocalypse had happened, but nothing actually had been destroyed. My friend was putting on weight from his lockdown sedentary lifestyle, and we made a plan to train together. We took morning walks through Pickwick Park and Moseley Bogs and trained most mornings for around 30 minutes. We would walk there and do a light run. There were goalkeeping posts still up in the field next to Sarehole Mill, the same place where Tolkien lived. We hung TRX cables over the crossbar and did lots of different exercises. I didn't know how long my mother would be in hospital, but we ended up training for 2 months. This was really helpful for me, as it helped me refocus my attention to other things. And the irony is, there I was thinking I was helping my friend, but he was helping me just as much